Every individual that you encounter in the linear world is an expression of a higher collective of music. And we call that higher collective the higher self. Every splinter of the higher self in a free will construct has the ability to choose with freedom, as a free will construct affords the individual consciousness the ability to express itself in a myriad of ways in its love or otherwise. This individualized consciousness, this fragment of a higher self, is a spark of all that is, a spark of the Almighty on the front lines of creation. And the will of the individual has a very strong resonance in helping to bring a manifestation to crystallize that creation in that individual circle of influence. Many times an individual will find that they will something so very intensely. And nevertheless, they are surrounded by other individuals who all will it, maybe not as intensely as them, but combined with their shared resonances, all a splinter of the divine, all together collectively working. They counter this individual's intense will to manifest. Think for a moment of the following paradigm. Individuals that are advanced spiritually and can get to a very high space of resonance to manifest. And they focus on the lottery, and they want certain numbers to win. And you have millions of other people, maybe not as strong, but each pulling for a different number, different resonance. Each one pulling. Well, there's so much static that it gets nullified. There's only one strategy to utilize, for a spiritually dynamic individual to utilize, to use their will to manifest for the greater good. Many times a spiritually dynamic individual will truly will a benevolent music and a chord to take root and manifest in the world of actuality. And they will find wall after wall after wall of impediment before them. Often there is collusion of many different individuals, all representing different collectives and hierarchies, all working together towards a counter resonance and willing that into manifestation. That helps stifle this individual's crystallization of this manifested will. The spiritually dynamic individual must recognize the potency of their will, the potency of their deep yearning and their deep desire. For their desire is the very frequency of their fuel to achieve and manifest in freedom. Often, Source will allow for impediments and contrasting musics, individuals that will stand up to fight against the accord an individual chooses to manifest in the circle. And the individual who's spiritually dynamic will protest and say, why is it I'm working in a benevolent fashion? Why must I meet these challenges? And the answer is that the will is not of great enough intensity. And so therefore, in a benevolent construct, counter chords are aligning in unison, not as strong as this individual's will, but all collectively, one by one, joining together to create this wall of will to stand between you and that which you choose to manifest in benevolence. And they do this so that you may crystallize and grow your will, and grow the resonance of that music stronger, and the passion for it yet stronger. For when you hit the degree and the cadence of your will to the greatest resonance that you are capable of, it will topple over that wall and will flourish with abundance into manifestation. For once it gets over that wall, the momentum of the pitch of that cadence, the magnificence of that momentum will rejuvenate itself continuously as it takes root and helps to manifest and awaken many in freedom to the benevolence of that music, of which that music has to offer. The root of an individual's will is connected to the individual's I am. It is a fifth density, fifth dimensional resonance. It is the I am receptacle of an individual seeing within themselves an expression of divinity of I am, the Almighty Source, an expression of Source on the front lines of creation, an expression of the Almighty experimenting in the world of contrasts and free will. In connecting with the great I am receptacle, the individual aligns their strong passion and will and desire to manifest a more benevolent reunion, a coalescing of spirit and soul and song for a greater harmonic unity and reconnection of all. In that space, that's the music of becoming. That is the music of happening. That is the music of manifestation. So powerful is this chord that often baser resonances who do not respect the resonance of freedom, but instead choose to collect tears of dominion for their own self-serving roles because of their abandonment and exclusion from the collective benevolence of Source energy. They will indulge many into forming a substantial resistance, but they will not match the chord of will of the aligned individual, a spiritually dynamic individual who reaches a sincere cadence. And this individual will challenge the music of the future that they're trying to transport into their current now, into manifestation for the greatest benevolence for all. And they will question, why? Why do I have the contrast? Why these ones are not as enlightened or spiritually dynamic? They are half asleep. Why can't my music filter through that static? And it is only to bring your will, the passion, the poignancy into a fever pitch, to a greater pitch through that resistance, to recognize what it is you desire so deeply, to increase the intensity of that will and desire, to help filter it into momentum. For when you breach that wall of prevailing static, the echoing momentum is eternal and shall manifest Such is the law of will.